Hey folks, welcome back to the Leeds Gamer. With the very strong possibility that Tottenham Hotspur will be relegated to the Championship this summer, I thought to myself, what kind of realistic lineup could Spurs put out next season? So, I've gone with a blend of players that are currently still linked with the club and also some players currently in the Premier League that haven't necessarily played as many minutes as they would have liked. Um, so, Starting off in goal, Brandon Austin is a goalkeeper that's come through their youth ranks, but basically has always played second or third fiddle. It's about time that he started playing some first team games for Tottenham Hotspur. He's 26-year-old now, good age for a goalkeeper. Now's the time to give him a chance in the Championship. At right back, I've gone for current West Ham fullback Kyle Walker-Peters, very experienced at Championship level. Also comes with some Premier League experience as well. So that to me seems like a purchase. That Tottenham could definitely they could definitely facilitate that one, and they'd have a very reliable Championship right back in Kyle Walker-Peters. At centre back, I've gone with an older and younger partnership here. So Ashley Phillips is currently out on loan with Stoke, but he's had a couple of Championship loans now, so he's actually quite experienced at Championship level. So he would be quite useful, and he is still a Spurs player technically. And next to him, next to him is the only player over the age of 30. I just feel that at centre back you just need one guy that's got lots of experience, and that is Jamal Lascelles. He's got experience in Premier League. He's got experience in the Championship. He's 32 now. He's the kind of captain's material, if you like. So he's currently out on loan at Leicester, I think, from Newcastle. So I think that would be a solid experience buy, and it wouldn't actually be too costly to Tottenham to bring him in at the age of 32. At left back, the once highly rated Dennis Serkin at Sunderland. Not getting a lot of game time at Sunderland. He's still only 23 years old, so he would have some sell-on value. Value. So I think that would provide a little bit of Championship know-how, while still being young enough to obviously improve. Into midfield, I've gone with a reasonable amount of experience for the midfield. I think, and yet they're all still young enough to none of these are quite at their peak yet. Maybe bar Yates, but we'll get onto him in a second. So I've gone with Everton's Dwight McNeil for the right wing. Former Burnley, again has got a mixture of Premier League and Championship experience, and can be quite a tricky winger at times. So I think that would be a very useful player to have on the wing. Ryan Yates at Nottingham Forest, 28-year-old now, so that's kind of the experience that you'd need in that midfield, and I think he has captained Forest on occasion. So while you've got Lascelles as like your defensive captain's material, you've got Yates as a midfield captain's material there, and yeah, that gives a bit of leadership on both levels of the park there, both in defence and in midfield. Next to him, I've gone with Joe Willock, a player who is practically the opposite of Yates. So whilst Yates is very capable with the defensive side of midfield, you've got Joe Willock, who can be a very capable attacking style midfielder at times, and that to me would seem like a very useful pickup for the central midfield there. And you've got a good balance between defensive mid and attacking mid. And then on the left wing, Reece Nelson. Now, I have to say, there is a couple of former Arsenal players in this lineup, so this may be seen as being a bit sour, but you can't pick and choose when you go down to the Championship. You have to decide wisely. And Nelson's a player that's been around longer than I thought he had, actually, but he's still at a very good age. on that left wing, could definitely do some damage in the Championship, I think. Still fairly highly rated. So I think that'll be a decent pick up there. And then up front, Dane Scarlett, he's currently on loan somewhere. I can't remember who he's gone on loan to. But he is still one of Tottenham's players. And it would be about time that, maybe a season in the Championship with Tottenham would be absolutely perfect for Scarlett's development. And also that opportunity to play as one of the main strikers. And partnering him, the surprisingly experienced Eddie Nketiah, who, seems to have been around for a bloody age now. But the way I see it with Nketiah is that he's got to fall down the pecking order because Palace still have Mateta and they recently purchased Strand Larsen. So where does Nketiah fit into that Palace squad? Well, my reckoning is that he had a brief loan spell with Leeds in the Championship and he looked quite bright. Bagged a couple of goals. So, yeah, there we go, really. So, I've only done this for a bit of a laugh. Do I think this is what it's going to be like? No. Nah, Spurs will go for a lot of foreign players. But ultimately, when you look at this lineup is it's the kind of 11 that could possibly finish around 17th place in the Premier League. And you'd like to think to yourself that if an 11 that would be strong enough for 17th place in the Premier League, would be strong enough to, get top 2 in the Championship, so that they can look to get that automatic promotion again. But there's a good dose of experience in there. There's a couple of younger players. There's players that have still got some sell-on value in there. And I think you've got a good blend of experience and still enough youth in there to be able to do a job. So, yeah, that's it really. Just a very quick bit of fun kind of lineup. I mean, end of the day, Tottenham are going to have millions and millions of pounds, even with the new squad cost model or whatever that new thing is that's coming into play. So they'll be able to still sign players for between 10 and 20 million pounds without it making a dent. And with that kind of spending power, they're going to be able to get, they'll get an entire 11 better than this 11. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But if you're looking for an 11 that's got that little bit of know-how, that little bit of experience, both at Premier League and Championship level, and are all at a decent enough age, bar Lascelles, they're all between 20 and 30. So I think that's a very solid Championship lineup, and that's what Spurs are going to need. Bringing in a load of players from the the foreign leagues is not really going to be suitable for the Championship. Not really. They need players with a bit of know-how, and I just wonder if this lineup would actually. I wonder how this lineup would do for Tottenham Hotspur in the Championship. I think it'd do okay. Certainly playoff. And with the new rules of the playoffs extending to several more teams, I think this 11 would be a very strong Championship 11, quite frankly. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there, folks. This was just a little short video. I just wanted to put it together and Ooh, you alright, Kirby? That's not a normal meow for you. Kirby hardly ever meows. Kirby, you alright? Ooh, I better check that out, folks. She's getting on a bit, is Kirby now. She's like she's pushing 15-year-old now. At least 14, ain't you? Oh, bless her. Yeah, anyway, right. Apologies for that, folks. Anyways, yeah, do please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do please also like the video and hype it, and then also hit that notification bell so that you don't miss any future content. In the meantime, have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.